but I was browsing the internet and I didn't know until I looked on the internet. I'm not sure what time this happened, but it says 26 minutes ago. This article was posted. It says, I'll wait till some more people come in here. We'll talk about it. I don't know why this thing keeps doing that. Hold on, y'all. Let me grab something real quick. Probably gonna put a background on here. Yeah, I might use a background. We'll use that for right now. So I don't think nobody's in here yet, but I'll just keep talking. Whoever watches the playback, appreciate you. So I didn't plan on going live, but like I said, I was online doing something and I saw this news. I didn't hear about it earlier. So this is news to me. So apparently, this was on MSN.com, but I'm sure it's everywhere by now. It says 17-year-old shot in leg, 3 others injured in Dallas high school shooting. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Like it's sickening to hear about that. So I am glad it looks like somebody survived. I'm gonna finish reading the article, but it looks like people survived. Hi Jafer, how are you? It says April 15th, which is today. Hello, how are you? It says April 15th today. Officials say at least 4 students were injured Tuesday afternoon at a school shooting at Dallas High School. So Dallas is in Texas, United States. It's Jaffer. Are you saying hi to me? Hi. It says the Dallas Independent School District said in an update a little after 2 p.m. local time that Wilmer Hutchins High School in the 1500 block of Langdon Road in southern Dallas County was secured after reports of a shooting at around 1:25 p.m. local time. So I'm not sure if anybody else have heard about this. It says, according to reports, a 17-year-old student was shot in the leg. Was shot in the leg, but no fatalities were reported. School officials had stated earlier in the afternoon that safety protocols had been implemented and advised people to stay away from the Wilmer Hutchinson campus. Did you guys hear about this story? According to the school district, students were being reunited with parents and guardians around 3:30 p.m. local time at the neighboring Eagles Stadium at 5520 Langdon Road, with at least 20 or so first responders, paramedics, police, and fire personnel on the scene. Parents were requested to have photo ID. Meanwhile, Dallas Mayor Pro Tem Tenel Atkins said evidence suggests that a person opened the door to the suspected shooter, adding he does not believe any other reported injuries were life-threatening. So it looks like a student may have let the shooter in. I'm not sure. DISD, he stated, is aware of the shooting suspect's identity, but it's unclear if there has been an arrest. So I guess they know who the suspect is, but I'm not sure there's an arrest. It follows a nearly identical incident almost a year to the date when a student brought in a gun to the same school campus and shot a fellow student in the leg. So somebody just trying to be a copycat? The same school, another student shot in the leg. The district says school counselors will be on site available. We understand this is a difficult time and ask for patience, school officials said Tuesday afternoon. It is not clear. Yeah, so this school looks like they need more safety protocols because people are just being let in randomly. There needs to be security, better security. There needs to be some type of alarm that goes off for somebody that comes in the building. And how is the door even open? Because for my children's school, you can't just come in, like you got to buzz in. So I'm not sure what's going on with these doors. There's not enough cameras or not enough security officers, but I am glad that no student died. I'm glad that there are survivors, but it's like it happens so often. Like you never know when you're going to hear about another school shooting. It's unfortunate that the US is known for school shootings. Like we don't send our children to school to be shot at. You know? That's really scary. And I feel like somebody needs to be fired because like I said before, the school's not secure enough. Just a year ago, the same school had somebody else shot. So somebody's coming to school to shoot again. It's the same shooter. Don't wake me. I'm dreaming. Hey, Leroy Adams. Let me see if I can find a news article. Like, not an article, but like to hear. Hold on, did I find that? Where is it? I just missed it. Where'd it go? Hold on. I feel like I lost the story already. I lost the story. Here it is. That's the article. Dallas school shooting. How do y'all not know the suspect yet? Oh my gosh. I'll try to play a little bit of article so you guys could hear it. This one is about a minute long. Okay, hold on. Actually, I can't play the sound on here for some reason. Something's going on with the sound. Yeah, I gotta figure this out. I need to go to the Geek Squad people because for some reason we can't hear sound from our computer. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm gonna try to figure that out. But I can't play anything for y'all. But if you guys are in the Dallas, Texas area, I hope that your child was not shot at. I hope you guys are okay. Honestly, if you're just a parent in school, if you're just a parent and you have children in school, it's really scary. Anything can happen to our children, unfortunately. But like in school, you would hope that they're safe there, but it's just way too easy for people to get into the buildings. It's way too easy. I've heard numerous stories over the years about how the suspect was able to just get in the building like that, and like the security officers or the resource officers like are not really doing what they're supposed to be doing. I'm not trying to blame anybody for this incident, but this is scary. I gotta figure out why I can't play any sound on here, but it won't play. It's scary. Do you guys have any children in school? Did you guys hear about this? This is from the first responders responding to the shooting in Dallas. So you see, you got a lot of you got the fire trucks. Looks like probably the fire chiefs. I don't see any police in this scene, but I have another picture. The thumbnail to this video, to this live, is of the students being evacuated from the building. Hi, I learned American English. Hello, Vanessa. Hello, everybody in the chat. I didn't plan on going live today, but I saw this story about the shooting in Dallas, Texas today, a high school, around 2 p.m. today. Some unknown person was allowed in the building. It looks like a student may have let them in. I'm not sure the student knew they were going to shoot, or they just like, hey, I'm letting you in because you seem okay. I don't know, but I just feel like more safety precautions need to be taken. I can't play this video, and I don't know why. It says this ad is in my way. It says, we do know that the gun did not come through during regular intake time. So this is from Fox 4. They're saying that they do know that the gun did not come through during regular intake time, Smith said. Smith is the police chief. So it's Dallas ISD Assistant Police Chief Christina Smith. They're saying that they know the gun did not come through in the morning time. So at some point, the gun made the way in the building. So it was not a failure of our staff, our protocols, or of the machinery that we have. So they're basically saying the school is safe. They didn't do anything, it's not the teacher's fault. It's not the staff's fault. But whether you check the beginning or the end, the point is the gun was able to come into the building. You know what I'm trying to say? Stop trying to, ooh, what is this? Stop trying to deflect. I feel like this is deflection. Take some accountability. Yes, you may have checked whatever. You may have, but how was the gun able to get into the school? Somebody let the gunman in. So take accountability for that. Say, hey, we did check earlier and everything was fine. And apparently we dropped the ball at some point during the day and the shooter was able to come in the building. Say that. But don't be like, well, we did what we were supposed to do. It's not a failure of staff. So who failed? Who failed? If the staff didn't fail, who failed? The student? Are you going to blame the student? Like, it's okay to say, we messed up. We messed up. We messed up at not protecting your children. We messed up at not protecting our children. Just say accountability. Like, a lot of people lack accountability, Ooh, and it just reminds me so much of narcissists. But that's a whole nother situation, y'all. Take accountability. If the staff didn't fail, who failed? Who are you going to blame? So if the staff didn't fail, so the gunman won, the gunman succeeded by getting the gun in the building. Y'all didn't do what y'all supposed to do. Somebody dropped the ball, whether it was the security office or the resource office. I don't know who is supposed to man the doors. I don't know who's supposed to be securing the situation, who wasn't keeping an eye on students, who may have let the gunman in. Somebody failed. So who did it? Who are you going to blame? You can't put it all on the gunman. The gunman is going to be a gunman. A criminal is going to be a criminal, right? You have to be there to stop the criminal. Criminals, as long as we are living on earth, there's going to be people who are going to break the law. So what are you going to do about that? What did you have in place to stop criminals from coming into your building? So you guys dropped the ball. You can't say staff didn't fail. You can't say staff didn't fail. I don't like that statement. She said, this is the police chief, Christina Smith said, so it was not a failure of our staff, our protocols, or of the machinery that we have. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Somebody was able to get into your school with a gun and shot people. So you failed. Even if you did the best you could, even if you thought you had it handled. How was someone able to get into the school? How? Something failed. Somebody shouldn't just be easy to open the door to a stranger. It should be some type of alarm that goes off. There should be somebody at the door, camera, something. Somebody failed the students. Somebody failed the other staff. People could have died. They are lucky that somebody only got shot in the leg. Let's hope that the person can walk again. You know what I'm saying? Let's hope that the person is going to be able to walk after this incident. So my heart goes out to the students at the school. This is not the first time it happened at this school. This school is not taking accountability for their actions or their inaction. The same school a year ago, somebody else got shot in the leg. No, I don't work in education, but I care about education. I have children. I'm a parent. I'm a mom. So I will be pissed off if this happened in my children's school and the staff and the chief is saying, oh, we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't fail. I guess basically you're saying the gunman was just smarter than us. The gunman was just smarter than us. We didn't fail. The gunman won. Yeah. Let me see what else it says. It says school was canceled after Well, they said school's going to be canceled for the rest of the week, y'all. So the shooting today in a Dallas high school prompted them to cancel school for the whole week. Why are you canceling the school for the whole week? I thought that you guys didn't fail. Why are you closing the school down? Why is the school going to be closed if you didn't fail? A successful school shouldn't close down for the rest of the week. I thought your safety and protocols was in place that this wouldn't happen. So it's like, come on now. You didn't fail, but then you're closing school for the rest of the week. If you're so secure, you would be open for tomorrow and be like, "Hey, we are such a secure school that we're very confident in our safety, and so we don't have any problem having the school open." Anyway, y'all, maybe I'm wrong for what I'm saying, but I feel like the police chief is not being honest about what happened. Take accountability. Y'all failed. And I feel like the parents should be in an uproar. The parents should be getting somebody fired. Somebody needs to get fired. Thank you. I learned American English. Jafar says better to send your kids to private school or homeschool them. I agree. I support homeschooling if it's done right. And I support private schools if you can afford it. A lot of parents would love to do other things than go to public school. It's very unfortunate the amount of people that have their children in public school. They don't really want them there due to just not being able to afford it, not having the support. So my heart goes out to people who have their children in public school. They don't really want them in there. It's just like they have no other choice. I can totally relate to that. Not everyone has the ability. Not everybody has the funds to put their children in the best school in their area. It's just not possible. So it says a freshman. Excuse me. They spoke to a freshman. Her name is Salandra Ibanez. This is from Fox 4, y'all. She said she heard the gunshots in her classroom. She said, my teacher, she was going over our work and we heard a gunshot. At first, I was just trying to process it because usually they have like little things they smack in the walls, like they play around. So like I was processing it and I went off again and it went off again. It was faster this time. So that's when me and my classmates, we got up and we went behind the teacher's desk and I was making sure my classmates were okay. And we went into the storage room and we waited there until we got escorted. She said, smart kids. They were smart enough to try to get to safety. Like our children live in a world that we have to prepare them for school shootings. Instead of trying to prevent the school shootings, we got to prepare our children for the school shootings. Like, well, we're not going to get rid of the guns, or, well, we're not going to have school regulation. We're not going to have better gun regulation. Oh, we're not going to have metal detectors and more security. We're just going to have you guys prepare for the worst because it's going to happen. It's like, as long as you go to school, your school might get shut up. And it's just like, I don't understand how these people who are in charge can say they have children, they love children, because not enough is being done. It's really sad. There's a parent, y'all. We were just talking about homeschooling. A parent, her name is Lori Brown. She said, I'm thinking about taking them and putting them in homeschool. Okay. I can't keep going through this as a parent. I'm telling you, it's very frightening to think about losing your child, your kids. This is terrible. Actually, it's Shauna Williams said that. My bad, y'all. Said Shauna Williams, who has 2 students at the school. So, like we were just talking about, this parent's like, look, it's not worth it. Like, this school, Wilmer Hutchins High School in Dallas, Texas, they've had 2 shootings in 1 year. Someone got into the school and shot somebody else in the leg. So it's like the school is making it seem like they're so safe and they didn't fail the students. They didn't fail anything. But it happened again. Why didn't y'all learn from the first shooting? Yeah. The parents need to be out there like trying to get somebody fired. Picket signs and something. Somebody needs to be held accountable for these shootings. Better to send your kids to private school. Already saw that. Okay. Yes. If you guys are wondering, if anybody is curious about what is this on my finger, I don't know what's going on. I thought I broke my finger, but it looks like it's just jammed. And it hurt. It was hurting me really bad. So for the past 2 days, I have been trying to keep it secure and keep it from bending because it really hurts to bend it. So the only time I take it off is if I have to wash my hands or do something with water, take a shower. Other than that, I have it on even when I'm sleeping because I don't want to like sleep too hard or rough and it like re-injures it. So I'm gonna keep it on for like a week, and if it's still not better, I'm gonna go and see a doctor and get an X-ray. So hopefully it gets better soon. Again, y'all, it says Tuesday's shooting comes almost exactly a year since a 17-year-old Wilmer Hutchinson student shot another student in classroom. So you guys are not doing what you're supposed to do. Kids are bringing school guns in school. People are letting shooters in the building. Somebody is dropping the ball. The security is not secure. There's no proper protocol going on with this school. After the shooting, police said a teacher intervened and made the student leave the classroom. The school was placed on lockdown. He was found a short time later near the school's football field. The gun was found in the woods nearby. The shooting prompted many questions about how the student brought a gun into school. So that was from last year when that happened. It says Wilmer Hutchins High School is equipped with metal detectors and has a clear backpack policy. I think maybe after the fact they have a metal detector. So basically the police chief, Christina Smith, is saying that they didn't fail. Okay, great. You have metal detectors. Great, it's a clear backpack policy. But someone was able to get into the building during school time. Someone was allowed to get into the building. So I don't know if another student let them in, whoever. It looks like another student let the shooter in. It doesn't matter if you have metal detectors and clear backpack policy. If someone is able to get into the building that easy, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Come on now. Y'all don't take safety seriously. If a shooting happened at your school a year ago and someone is able to get into the building that easily, you guys don't take safety seriously. And I think all the parents need to be going down to the school board, lawmakers, I don't know, but they need to be marching in front of the principal's office, the principal's home, whoever. If I was these parents at the school, I would either be taking my children out or I'll be like basically trying to get somebody fired. Somebody needs to be held accountable. Again, criminals are always going to be criminals. But when it comes to our children, we're supposed to be having like the top security. I'm thankful that at my children's school, it seems to be pretty secure. I don't know, anything could happen, right? Thank goodness nothing so far has happened. You know what I'm saying? I would hate for anything to happen to any school in America, in the world, to any innocent children. Children are just so pure and precious, and they are the future. And to think that they go to school to learn, doing what we want them to do. A child goes to school to learn. We want them to learn. They want to grow. They need to be productive members of society, but they're not even safe in the school that we're sending them to. We're failing the children. Oh, you're a doctor? Cool. Jaffer says opinions on Louis Farrakhan. I do appreciate some of the stuff that Louis Farrakhan has said. I mean, I don't fall in line with everything he says. I don't follow the Islam faith. I'm not religious at all, but I do respect some of the things that Farrakhan has said. He has said some wise things. You know, he has said some things that make sense. Again, I don't follow everything he preaches. I don't follow everything he's done and everything he said, but he has made some good points. So that's my opinion on him. I think sometimes even the people we don't like, sometimes they can actually make sense. Sometimes that doesn't mean that I'm saying that they're a great person or they're a bad person. I'm just saying Louis Farrakhan is an intelligent man, I believe, and he has spoken some wise words, and I cannot argue with that. Anyway, y'all, I really just came on to talk about that. I really, like I said, I didn't plan on going live, and if you are a parent, hold your babies tight, hug them, and make sure you know what your children's school's safety policies are, or gun policy, or just anything. I don't know. Just make sure you're on alert. We shouldn't be so tense. Like, we shouldn't be like in fear of our lives when we send our children to school. But anything can happen, unfortunately. You know, them taking the bus, anything can happen on the bus. Them in the school. You just have to hope for the best and educate your children, and just hope that you're making the best decision that you can. Hoping that you're choosing a good school, whether it's public, private, or homeschool. All we can do as parents is to make sure we're making the best decisions for our children so we won't live with regrets. Because all you can do is do your best. And we can't do it alone. Like, it really takes a village. It takes a good village to raise children. Some children are in toxic, abusive villages, and some children are in safe, supportive villages. And I'm happy for that. Every child should be safe and supported. Unfortunately, children are not always around responsible, caring adults, so they're vulnerable to abuse. They're vulnerable to violence, hates, all kind of stuff, and it's not right. It's not okay. I just hope for a better life, you know. But this is the life we live in, y'all. This is the life we live in, and all we can do is do our best and just love our children, protect them as much as we can. You know, talk to them about safety, be on alert. If you hear something, say something. If something sounds suspicious, if you hear a suspicious sound, if you sound like something that sounds like a gunfire, or if you see a student doing something that's not safe, that could hurt other students and other teachers and staff, you need to report that. You know, if you hear a student talking about they're going to bring a gun or do something bad, report that. I don't care about no snitching thing. Oh, don't snitch, don't snitch. No, when it comes to safety and stuff like that. Robert Page is my grandma's bones turn jelly, no net, no help. She whispers from the walls. I need to save her before she melts away. Okay, you're spamming now. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Please stop spamming. I'm gonna have to remove your comments. I'm gonna put you in timeout for a little bit. I hope your grandmother's gonna be okay, but I'm not sure what's going on with that, okay? Whatever story you're telling, I'm not sure you're talking about from the walls, whether this is a true story or a fake story. You are spamming the chat. I can't help you. I'm just a person on the internet that you don't know. Please reach out to your local doctors, your local police, whoever you know locally that can help you. I can't help you on the internet, okay? Go Google whatever you need for your grandmother or somebody you love. Google, go to the hospital, go to the doctor, call 911, okay? I don't know what you need to do, but I cannot help you. But I wish you and your grandmother the best, okay? Whether you're being fake or silly, I wish you the best. Whether you're being real or silly, I wish you the best. And I hope you have a good one, okay? But I don't, Some people are just, you never know if they're coming in here just being extra. But your story just sounds hard to believe. But I don't know you and you don't know me, so who am I, right? But I appreciate anybody who came into the live stream. It's just something to think about. Our children are in public school. If your child's in public school, I don't know what to say. I hope for the best for our babies. I hope the best for our children. All we want to do as parents is to, good parents. I feel like most parents, hi, Catherine, Philip Fitzpatrick. I feel like most parents, not because not all parents love their children. I feel like most parents love their children. Most parents want the best for them. And most parents want their children to outlive them. I don't want to have to bury my child. You know, I don't want to have to bury my child. I want my child to outlive me. I mean, I wish we could live forever, you know, but it's not realistic. We all got to go someday. But I don't want my child to go before me, and I don't want them to go in a savage way. You know, going to school, trying to learn, and then they're shot up, or they're looking over their shoulders like, who's going to shoot now? Who's going to shoot now? Oh my gosh, what's that sound? Is that a shooter? Like, our children should be focused on learning in school, not focused on like a bullet flying through the door, or it's sad. Children have a lot to deal with in school, trying to learn, study, focus. And now they got to dodge bullets too. It's too much. It's too much. As adults, as parents, we owe our children the utmost like protection and safety. Yes, we can't guarantee everything, but if you call yourself an educator or someone who works with children, you're supposed to be protecting your children to the best of your ability. And if you failed, take accountability. You can't be like, oh, well, I don't know what happened. I did my, you know, what could you have done better? If you call yourself working in safety for children as a school official, as a police chief, you can't say we did everything and we don't know what happened. No, something failed. Children are our most precious. Children are the most precious humans on the planet. You know, without them, we don't have any future. So why aren't we protecting them enough? So anybody who wants to homeschool their children, or who are homeschooling their children, I totally understand. If I had things my way, I would be doing things a lot differently, But like I said before, not everyone has the support system that they want or need to be able to put your child in a private school or to homeschool. It's just not possible. John Joy says it's terrible that it has come to this, but teachers need to start caring. I heard that some states, John, are allowing. Let me go look it up. I believe there's some states who are allowing their teachers to carry. States that, let me try to look it up. I thought maybe they're planning it or not. Teachers, I've heard that they plan it, but I'm not sure if teachers are actually, here it is. And some teachers are allowed, John. It says, according to USA Today, I wish I could share this with you guys, but I can't. So according to USA Today, it says, what states allow teachers to carry guns at school? Tennessee and Iowa weigh joining them. Okay, so far, let's see the states. So it says 16 states and the District of Columbia have laws specifically prohibiting teachers from carrying guns. So there's some states who won't allow it at all. So Alabama doesn't allow it. California, Delaware, Illinois, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Nebraska, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Rhode Island, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. Those 16 states do not allow guns in the school. Most states, including Tennessee, allow non-law enforcement school security to carry guns on campus. I'm trying to find the states that allow it. Okay. So it says Tennessee and Arkansas prohibit teachers in public schools from carrying guns, but allow exceptions for private schools. It says 6 states, Delaware, Nebraska, North Carolina, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Maine prohibit guns for non-law enforcement security. Where are the states that allow it? Okay, here it is. So what do schools allow for the general public? Most states prohibit members of the public to carry guns on campus, but a handful like Kansas, Michigan, Mississippi, New Hampshire, Oregon, Utah, and Wyoming allow the guns. Okay, I still don't see which states allow teachers. Okay, maybe they don't. I thought they did, John. You live in Iowa? I'm trying to find the answer to that. Okay. It says Tennessee became the latest state to allow teachers to carry firearms inside K through 12 public schools after lawmakers vowed action in the wake of a deadly school shooting in Nashville last year. I'm trying to see what other schools. I'm trying to find the list of it, but I don't see it. Anyway, there are some schools that allow it apparently, but it's not that much. Okay, hold on. No, yes. Okay, so right now, it looks like Vermont is the only state that allows teachers to carry guns with no restrictions. It says, can public school teacher carry a gun here? No, hold on. Yeah, so New Hampshire. It says, can a public school teacher carry a gun here? Yes, with no restrictions. So New Hampshire is the only state that doesn't have any restrictions. It says there's a few states that allow with from school authority, like Montana. Yeah. So there's a few schools who allow it with some restrictions. And some don't allow it at all. Like California, I already mentioned that doesn't allow it at all. Washington doesn't allow it. North Dakota, South Dakota doesn't allow it. Let me see. So because of the shooting, I'm wondering if Texas. So Texas is a state that allows teachers to carry it with permission from school authority. Oh, you said Iowa? Let me see. Let me see what the map says about Iowa. Okay, so it says Iowa. Can a public school teacher carry a gun here? It says yes, with permission from school authority. Okay. Okay, so I see what you're saying, Kathy. They signed a law on Friday that says any trained teachers can carry guns. Okay, so that's new. I didn't know that. I'm in Ohio, and Ohio allows it with permission from school authority. So I don't, yeah. But like I said, New Hampshire is the only state in the United States of America that allows teachers to carry guns with no restrictions. So I'm wondering how that's working out for New Hampshire. I'm wondering. Florida says yes in specific circumstances or with additional permits or required training. I'm actually surprised that Florida and like Texas isn't saying yes, teachers can carry with no restrictions. I'm actually surprised that New Hampshire is the only state. The way Texas totes about, don't mess with Texas and they're big on guns. I'm surprised that it's a gun-loving state like Texas is not like just like, hey, everybody can, teachers can do it without a problem. I'm thinking because of the shooting, they might change their mind. Who knows? But it's going to take time to pass that. Yeah, so Hawaii doesn't allow it at all. Mississippi doesn't allow it at all. No, that's not Mississippi. Louisiana doesn't allow it at all. Alabama does not allow teachers to carry guns at all. North Carolina doesn't allow it. Virginia doesn't allow teachers to carry guns. West Virginia doesn't allow teachers to carry guns. Illinois does not allow teachers to carry guns. Wisconsin doesn't allow it. Nebraska doesn't allow it. North Dakota doesn't allow it. So there's some states who are strict. So it looks like the majority of the states allow teachers to carry guns with some restrictions, with some special permissions. And then a smaller amount of schools allow it with permits, special permits and training. So yeah, most states looks like they're getting more into just allowing teachers to carry guns, and that's sad. We should be working on prevention. I believe prevention is worse than the cure. But I understand that no matter what you do, there's going to be bad people who try to get into schools and hurt the children. So I'm indifferent about how I feel about teachers carrying guns. I wouldn't want, I just, it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uneasy. I feel like it should be better trained officials that are in the school doing it. I don't think teachers necessarily. I think there should be more trained officials at the front of the building, and the back of the building, on the side, and like every main, I don't know. I'm torn. I want children to be safe, but I also worry about if teachers, teachers are not properly trained in it. Will it bring some type of fear or intimidation with it? I don't know how I feel about it. It makes me uncomfortable. I do care about the safety of children, but I can see this going bad sometimes. I don't know. Kathy says we probably wouldn't have this conversation if they actually had better gun control laws. Exactly, Kathy. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Kathy. Let me pin that. That's what we want. But people who, if you have a gun and you believe in guns, I'm happy for you. Do your thing. I support safe gun owners. I support that. I do. But I feel like as soon as someone says, "Oh, we're gonna have some restrictions," or "No, you can't take my gun," why don't we care more about our children's safety than we do about guns? It's very much giving. We care more about guns than we do our children's safety. I think everyone has a right to own a gun. If you're doing it safely, your mental health is intact. You're not, what I'm saying, making irrational decisions with the gun. I support you. If you are mentally sound and safe, and you know how to carry the gun safely. But there's some people who just shouldn't have it, and it's just like, it's just scary. It's scary. I care more about my children and more about other people's children than I do about guns. I do. And it's just unfortunate. This is a miscommunication. It's not teachers that have the guns. It's a couple of approved employees in the school that can carry guns. By the way, there is training happening with the two individual. Okay, well, my mistake. But according to this article I'm reading, it's saying certain. It says certain teachers can. Like I said before, New Hampshire said, this is the question. It says, can a public school teacher carry a gun here? It says yes, with no restrictions. So I see what you're saying. There are certain officials who are the ones in the school with the guns, but there are some places that are allowing teachers. So if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But this is according to Newsweek. According to Newsweek, this is what they're saying. It says, an analysis of state laws by Newsweek shows that more than 30 states allow teachers, okay, to carry guns under certain conditions. So this is what it's saying. You're telling me that I'm wrong, but the article is saying different. So it is what it is. Maybe I need to educate myself better, but according to Newsweek, teachers, not just special school officials. I'm sure there's some states, yes, there are some states who do not allow the teachers. They only allow certain school authority. Okay? Tomato, tomato, right? I don't know. By the way, they were sharing. Kathy. Apparently, a third grader last week took a fully loaded gun to school, and as they were grabbing it out of their backpack, it went. Oh, did anybody get hurt, Kathy? I didn't hear about that. I need to look that up. Knowing that there's guns in the school to protect kids is half the battle. The reason why schools are targeted is because they are vulnerable. It's very vulnerable. Children are vulnerable. It's just scary, you guys. It's scary. The schools are vulnerable. The students are vulnerable. The teachers are vulnerable. The most vulnerable should be the most protected. The way we go, say, okay, if you go to the courthouse, if you guys go to the courthouse right now, you got to go through the metal detector. You got to put your bag in through the conveyor belt thing to get scanned. If we are protecting the lawmakers, the judges, the attorneys, why aren't we doing that in school? And yes, in this situation with the school in Dallas, someone was able to get into a door that somebody allowed them in. Okay, but the point of my thing is, what I'm saying is that more security measures need to be done with schools. If we value our judges, our lawmakers, and everybody else, we need to value the children that way. I just don't get it, you know? Yeah. Yeah. We just got to be safe and teach our children to be alert, because you never know. Like, that popping sound you might hear might be a gun going off. Like, that's really sad to think about that. We got to talk to our children about that. I know that my children's school, they do like drills. They do drills every so often to prepare the children in a lockdown situation. If there's a gunman in the building, what they would do. You know, I'm glad they know how to do that, but it's sad that they know how to do that. But it's just the life we live in. I mean, even at my job where I work at, they talk to you about what to do, and you know, it's scary, but it's the world we live in, and so we can't be scared. I guess we got to be prepared, because they're not going to change the laws. You know, anybody can have a gun, and the schools are not secure enough. Anybody could just get in the building at any time through some random door that's propped open, or somebody let them in. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Why it's so easy. It's getting a gun in school, a gunman shooting in school should be one of the most hardest things somebody could do. But it seems pretty easy, and that's why people are going to keep doing it, because of, hey, the schools aren't secure. They don't really care about these kids. So I'm going to come in there easy. Like, we're showing the bad guys how easy it is to get into the schools. We're showing the bad guys how much we don't care about our children's safety enough. And they're going to keep trying it, because we're not showing them that, hey, we take our children's safety seriously. Kathy says, and nobody got hit. The gun just went off in the backpack. Okay, it went off in the backpack. I'm so glad nobody got hurt. BB says, and there are some major controls inside of the school with the two individuals that are carrying. Okay, well, I'm glad that there's major controls. But like I said before, Newsweek says they're allowing teachers, not just officials. So I guess it depends on the state. It's not saying in detail. It's saying in a broad statement. Let me see what this one says. Okay, so let me finish reading what I was saying. So, like I said, let me read this again. It says an analysis of state laws by Newsweek shows that more than 30 states allow teachers to carry guns under certain conditions. The majority of these states require at least the permission of a school authority, and in some states, the teacher must undergo additional training. New Hampshire is the only state with no restrictions on adults carrying guns on school grounds. Only students are prohibited. Okay. So if you guys, check out Newsweek, it's an article from April 25th, 2024. It says map shows states where teachers can carry guns. I will try to remember to link this in the description of this live. So if you guys want to know what I was referencing, what I was talking about, I don't want you to feel like I'm just pulling data or whatever information out of my butt. This is from Newsweek. Okay. It's by Daniel Orton. Okay. April 25th, 2024. If you guys are wondering what I was reading. And there are some major controls. Yeah. I need to educate myself more about it, BB, because I'm not like an expert when it comes to gun control or the teachers who are allowed, who are not allowed. I just know that it was getting more and more aggressive with allowing teachers to do it, but I wasn't sure on which states were allowing it and how, and the conditions that they were allowing it. I just knew it was happening, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's happening. Here's my commitment. What if a kid takes the gun from me? See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying, like, it's scary. What if a kid takes the gun from a teacher? How are the teachers carrying it? I know they are training them. What if a kid who is mentally unstable, a kid who's, I don't know what's going on with him, takes it from a teacher? I'm hoping that the teachers are trained to not allow that to happen. I'm hoping that the teacher has it under control, because something bad can really go down. Something bad can really go down. I'm hoping a kid wouldn't be dumb enough to try that. Oh my gosh. Whew. There's some kids who are just, like I said, they're mentally not right, and they will try it just to see what it's like, and bad things will happen. Kathy says, my question was, where were the parents when the kid got a gun to take to school? Right? It's like some parents are not checking their kids' backpacks. They're not checking their kids' room. I'm that parent. I do my best. I'm not the a robot. I can't get it right all the time, but I try my best to know what's going on. Like, parents, even if you haven't done it in the past, do it now. Check your children's backpacks. Check their backpacks to see what's going on in their backpack before they go to school. After they come from school, check. It should be a routine. Okay, let me check your backpack. What's going on? Oh, okay, you have this in here. Any papers? And even if you don't want to make it seem like you're checking your children, or you want to make it seem like you're like, don't trust them, make it seem like it's a fun game or it's a fun thing. Oh, let me see what's in your bag. Oh, cool. Do you have any papers sent home today? Oh, let me see about this. Oh, what's the book you're reading now? Make it seem fun. Make it a fun thing when you're checking your children's bag. Because some kids are like, oh, you're invading my privacy. You're a mom. Why are you in my bag? But that's your child, and you care about their safety. So you do need to check their bag. Not just guns. It could be drugs in there. Anything could be in your children's bags. And you never know. It might be a chance where somebody who put the gun in their bag and they didn't know it was in there. I don't know. It could be a situation like that. You said right. What am I reading? This is Ram from Shania. Hi. May 21 says, right, I read a story where a kid tackled a teacher to the ground. Are you serious? That is crazy. There's some kids who are stronger than teachers, like especially if they're a high school student. They can take some of these teachers. What if some bad kids, plot to say, hey, we're going to plan this and we're going to take him down. And several students take down a teacher and get the gun. There unfortunately are some children who are mentally unstable, and they want to try to be some bad tough guy and think it's cool. You never know. But you got to think about worst case scenario. Kathy says the parents got arrested and this happened 1 week ago. That's crazy. I do think the parents should got arrested. That you got to be held accountable. You need to check your children's backpack. You can't say I didn't know what's going on. You can't say I didn't know. As a parent, it is your responsibility to make sure you know what's going on with your child as much as you can. Yes, you're not gonna know every detail that's going on with your kid. Kids can hide things sometimes, but a gun, come on now, you got to know that your kid has a gun or not. Check their backpacks, check their rooms. I don't care. You have a right to invade their privacy when it comes to safety like that, because you don't want them to shoot up the school and you're like, I didn't know. You know, you would really regret that you didn't check and you weren't aware. Children should be allowed a right to privacy in certain situations. But like the school in Dallas, they had a clear backpack policy. So, but like I said before, this case, basically someone was allowed into the building and it wasn't a matter of they had a clear backpack and someone didn't see the gun and somebody was able to see the gun. A intruder came into the building with the gun. So yes, they were doing good things by having a clear backpack policy and having metal detectors. But if someone could come into the building with the gun, what's the point of the other rules? You have to have safety parameters and safety measures for each door, for each exit entrance of the building in a school. Cameras, alarm system, something should have went off to let somebody know that an intruder was in the building. If somebody was able to come through a door that they didn't know that they came through, a metal detector should have went off at that door. Every door should have a metal detector because someone can come into the building. It's like you can't expect a bad guy to come through the main door, through the door with the metal detector. A bad guy is going to find a way to get into the building where he's not found out, where the metal detector didn't go off. You can't expect a bad guy to say, oh, I'm gonna go through the metal detector and let them catch me. No, they're gonna go through a door that there's no metal detector. There's no one watching. So that's where the school failed. They failed in that instance. And I feel like what the school should also do is that in order for you to open like a random door to leave the building, you should have a badge. And the badge should like alert that the door went off. I mean, just so many things that could have been done. So many things that need to be done. Yeah, it was a middle school football player. Wow. Football players are strong. Yes, we have an elementary school 2 miles from us, and there was woods next to the school, and there were two people hunting, and a ricochet bullet hit and broke the window of the school. See, there should be like hunting laws. You shouldn't be able to be within a certain amount of miles. Like 2 miles is too close. You shouldn't be able to allow within, I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know how far the bullet travels. I guess it depends on the gun. But you shouldn't be able to hunt close to a school. I really need to educate myself on a lot of things, because this is scary. It's really scary. Really scary. And any place that our children is going and we're not there to protect them, we need to make sure that the people who are watching over them is doing their job. So I would say you should not be allowed to hunt within like 3 miles of a school or something like that. I think bullets can normally travel like 1.5 to 2 miles. So that's a crazy story. That is crazy. I guess it depends on the gun. It depends on the gun on how far it can travel. Anyway, this is scary. You guys hug your children. Talk to your children. Talk to your children about safety in school, outside of school. If they see something, say something. If they hear a friend talking about, I'm going to bring a gun to school. If they hear a friend talking about, I got a gun, or even another student, it might not be their friend. Speak up, because their life is on the line. Don't mind your business when it comes to safety. When it comes to safety, I don't care about being a snitch. I don't care about whatever. I want to preserve my life. Life is about survival. So I'm not going to sit there and know that you have a gun or somebody's bringing a gun or they got a plan to shoot up the school and I'm not going to say anything. Speak up, y'all. You know, let your children know. And they shouldn't be allowing any random stranger or someone, even if they know the person in the building. I don't care if you're my best friend. You don't know what the person is doing outside the building and what plan they have to come into the building. If they're not coming through the front door the right way, they shouldn't be allowed in the building. So it's a lot that I can say, but we got to talk to our children, hug our children, love our children, because you just never know. You know, you send them to school to come back alive, but you never know. I think we take our children's safety for granted. May says, I am a junior high school and I am homeschooled because of the things like that. Yeah, I understand it. It's scary. Homeschooling, some people, you know, have negative things to say about homeschooling. Oh, they don't socialize. You don't socialize. That's the least of your worries when it comes to homeschooling. You know, there's ways to socialize children, you know. And most of the time when you're in school, you really don't have a lot of time to socialize because you're busy doing work. A lot of times the teacher's like, be quiet, shh, no talking. Yes, you might have moments here and there where you get to talk to other students in lunchtime, but the lunchtime is only like 10 minutes long and they got to go and play on recess. So I'm not saying children don't socialize in school, but there are other ways to socialize your children. It's not just in public school. You can socialize children in homeschool. There's different things you can do, different programs you can join, different activities you can do. It's a lot of things. There's a lot of support groups on Facebook for homeschoolers to get together. So don't, you know, be open-minded when it comes to homeschooling. If homeschooling is not for you, that's fine. But don't judge people for homeschooling for whatever reason, for religious, personal, safety. That's their right. They love their children just as much as you love their children. You love your children. Hi, Zen. Nice to see you today, Dan. I'm just talking about the shooting that happened in Dallas, Texas at a high school. Thankfully, there were survivors, but a student was shot in the leg. A 17-year-old student was shot in the leg, and there were other people who were injured. So I'm glad no one died, but the same school had another shooting a year ago, and it's just like, it's sad. This school needs to be held accountable. The police chief needs to be held accountable. Yeah. If I was a parent at this school, I wouldn't take it lightly. I would either pull my student or somebody needs to be held accountable. If somebody's not getting fired and things are not changing, I wouldn't feel comfortable with my child in that school. And I'm glad they're having a week off, the rest of the week off, so parents can sit down and think about what they want to do next. Do I want to send my children back to the school? Do I want to homeschool? Do I want to find another school? Do I want to online school? There's many ways children can learn. And if you don't feel like they're safe in public school, then you got to do what you have to do. As long as your children are learning and they're safe. I do feel like homeschooling parents or families have it's been some bad press about homeschooling. There are some stories where you hear about people are so-called homeschooling their children when they're really just home abusing them. They're having the children away from school so they can abuse them in peace and not have to like be questioned about why the child is being bruised or why they're starving, why they're hungry. It's really sad. But those are extreme cases. Most families, most parents, I believe, love their children. Most families, most parents, I believe, are not abusing their children. But you have some bad parents who abuse their children and they homeschool them to hide the abuse. May says, and I have friends and best friends and I met them at our church. See, exactly. You can meet people out in the grocery store, in the park, so you see people everywhere. And it's not, children should not just have to socialize with other kids. Children need to know what it's like to socialize with the elderly, you know, senior citizen, all walks of life, because your children are not going to just see kids when they grow up. They're going to see people of all different ages. So yeah, there's different ways to socialize your children. And there are people who went to public school their whole life and they're loners or they don't like people and they're antisocial. So you can't guarantee that because somebody went to public school, they're going to be like so socialized and so well adjusted. There are plenty of people who went to public school and they're not well adjusted. They didn't do well. They were bullied, tortured. You know, it's a lot of things that go down in public school. It's not all great, like people try to make it seem like. Kathy says, my kids said the majority of their junior high and high school homeschooling. Yeah, I don't blame them. You can learn a lot from homeschooling. And first of all, public school, you don't need to be in school that many hours. You don't need to be in school for 6-7 hours to learn. It's learning does not take up that much time of your day. But the way school is, they got to get paid. They got to account for all these things so they can get paid. But learning does not take that much time. It depends on the age. The younger you are, the less time you need to learn things. The older you get, the more time you spend. You know what I'm saying? So look up the homeschooling rules, look up the homeschooling laws in your state, and do what's best for your child. But don't let anybody scare you or bully you into not homeschooling. Homeschooling is not for weirdos or crazy people. It's for regular people who love their children, who want to educate them in a different way. Parents, we are our children's first teachers, okay? So it's kind of weird if you really think about it that we're pushing our children off to strangers. Yes, we may not be educated in certain subjects, and that's why we bring our children to school, or that's why we outsource and get tutors. But don't feel like you're not capable of teaching your children. Okay, there are a lot of online programs that do most of the lessons for you. You just have to kind of be there to supervise it. So you guys don't think you're not capable. This is not a pro homeschooling live. I'm just talking about for those of you who don't feel safe in public school. I totally understand why you want to homeschool. If you like public school, great for you. Good. If you like homeschooling, great. Whatever way you choose to educate your children, do it as long as you feel like it's the best thing, as long as they're learning, they're growing, they're advancing. That's all you can do. Den says, I think it's the adults' fault. Children are a product of their upbringing. Bullying is something that adults cultivate in children. I agree. Because a lot of children go to school to bully because they're being bullied by other adults. I don't think children wake up and like, I just want to be mean to these kids. No, something is going on. Normal people don't go to school bullying, and children mimic, and they do what they see, or they do what's being done to them. I went to school and I was bullied, and a lot of the children who bullied me, they were poor, they were disadvantaged, or something was going on. They were being abused. Something was going on, and they were acting out, and to bully you, to make you feel small, made them feel better about themselves. It was a temporary relief. So yeah, the children are being bullied by adults. Something is going on in the home and they go and bully. It's very unfortunate. But I'm so against bullying, and it's just so sad that bullying still goes on to this day. If you see someone being bullied, if you're able to speak up and say something. Don't engage in any bullying. If you're a child and you're listening to me, don't bully. It's not right. It's not okay. You don't like being bullied, right? If somebody's bullying you, it doesn't feel good, does it? So why do you think it's okay to bully somebody else? If you're being bullied, go speak to a trusted adult about it. Okay? Someone you love, and not love, someone you can trust, because you're not going to probably love a teacher, a guidance counselor, a teacher that you care, that you think care about you. If you're being bullied, speak up, talk to a trusted friend or another adult about it. Okay? Don't suffer in silence. It's not normal to be bullied. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, it's a part of life. Bullying, it happens. No, it's not okay. Mean people bully. Miserable people bully. Adults are big children who act the same way towards each other. I agree. Adults are people, no matter how you look at it. I agree then so much with that. I agree. Sometimes I feel like I'm in high school with certain situations I'm in with adults. Like, some of the things I see online, some of the things I see in person, adults acting like children. There are a lot of unhealed adults out there. And it's like, you need to go get some help. You need to get some help. Something inside of you was not healed. I don't know what happened to your childhood. Someone hurt you, but you're acting like a child still. There's a lot of childish adults out there. And no wonder the kids act the way they act, because of the adults that they're modeling after. It's sad to see, but there's a lot of unhealed people who are teaching these children how to bully and be a bully, and they're going to school doing it. They're going to school shooting up the school. If a child is coming to school with a gun and shooting up, something is going on, and they don't have the right role model. And even if you even if you feel like you're being the best parent, you still need to watch your children. You still need to pay attention to what they're doing, what they're into, to the best of your ability. Like I said before, check their backpacks, pay attention, talk to them, sit down and talk to them. How was your day? How's it going? Who's in your friend group? Who do you like? Who don't you like? We have to try to relate to our children, because when you act like you're like above them, like, oh, I'm the adult and you're the child, they're not going to want to share with you. Okay? Be a friend to your child, not just a parent. You are always going to be a parent first, but you always got to be friendly with your children so they can trust you and communicate with you. Like, hey, mom, this is going on. It's just better that way. Anyway, everybody, I appreciate anyone who came into the live stream. It went on longer than I expected. I'm going to end the poll, and then I'm going to end the live stream. So I asked, have you ever survived a school shooting? And 36% of you said yes. I'm sad that any of you had to survive that. That's really sad. And 64% of you said no. So that's sad that even 36% had to say yes. And that was 28 votes. Thank you for participating in the poll. Thank you to anyone who added something to the chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Den. Thank you to everyone that came in. Kathy, May, everyone. If I didn't say your name, I appreciate you. If you're watching this live stream, thank you so much. If you came in the beginning, the middle, or you're here right now, I appreciate your view. I appreciate your support. If you're watching the playback, hey, you're the real MVP. Replay gang. Thank you so much for your support. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Den says the question is what to do with this and how to fight it. Den, that's the question. And I think that there's many parents and many adults who want to have this conversation. But you have the people who are like, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it. So this is what we have to do. We have to basically turn our children into, I don't know. We got to get our children bulletproof vests and bulletproof backpacks and give the teachers guns. That's the only way we can fight it. But we're not talking about the prevention. So don't be afraid to talk about it in your friend group, with the lawmakers. This is something that needs to continue happening. We can't just say, oh, this happened and let's forget to talk about it. This is always on my mind. And until we actually stand up and go down there and get these laws changed and keep fighting for it, you can love guns and love your children. So it's like, stop showing that you love guns more than children, okay? The priority should be children. Don't be so afraid of losing your gun rights because you know, like, it's just, yeah. I think that's a big problem, that people who are afraid of losing, I don't know, their rights, they feel like that's going to infringe on their rights. But the conversation needs to be had and continue. Check up on your school's policies. Talk to the school system and see, what are their plans? What are their safety plans if something like this happens in your school? Be vigilant. Let them know that you're watching and you want to know that they're prioritizing your children's safety. That's all we can do. But thank you, everyone. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I hope to see you another time. Thank you. And again, I will link the article that I was reading about the teachers are being allowed to carry. I will link that in the live. And I will try my best to go back and link the story. Is this the one I read? Anyway, whatever. Talk to you later. Oh, I knew what you meant. The question is, what do we do with this and how to find it? Thank you, Den. All right, talk to you later. Have a good one.